Morning of day 7, and the bugs are especially bad this morning. Apparently they were bored during the rain yesterday too, and they're waiting to get out. And this is after I killed about 2, 3, maybe even 400 in between the fly and the mesh of the tent. Patent pending. I patented bug killing technique, but yeah, there are just so many more. So I gotta get a move on quickly. I'm packing up camp, and hopefully once I'm paddling I can leave them in my dust. It's morning of day 7. It's almost 7 a.m. Just finished packing up camp, and I'm heading out. I'm just gonna fish this bay over here south of my camp before I start paddling the 30 kilometers up Steel Lake that I need to cover today, or I want to cover at least. I'm really hoping I have the tailwind. If I have a headwind, there's no way I'll make the 30 kilometers. I don't know if I've ever even paddled 30 kilometers in one day. Close to it. I know I've paddled 20, 25 on a number of occasions, but 30 is a lot. The bugs were insane. Not to beat a dead horse, but getting out of the tent this morning, I killed about 200 to 300 of them, maybe more, inside the tent, in between the fly and the mesh of the tent, using my patent pending technique. And yeah, still waiting outside were hundreds more. So I'm covered head to toe. Luckily it's a cool morning, so not too hot yet, but hoping I can lose these guys on the open lake. Look at this leech just swimming through the water out in the open. If this were a bass lake, this guy would be gone. When I'm paddling, and especially when I'm trolling, like I am now, a paddling technique I like to use is like a little crossover. So I'll do some paddling on this side, and then once I start turning the boat to about maybe 20 degrees on either side, I'll just do a switch like that. And a few reasons I like that. In the wind, if you have a headwind, it's a lot better than a correction stroke because you're just putting pure power into it. If you have a bad headwind and you're doing correction strokes and you're doing a J stroke, you're slowing yourself down a little bit, and I'd say you need every bit of power. The other reason I like that is because the switching sides is that when you're trolling, it's creating kind of an S curve, and that's better than a straight line. And it also creates speed up zones and speed down zones. When I'm taking this outside turn here, when I'm paddling on this side, my bait's going to move faster, and then when I paddle on this side with my rod on the other side, that's the inside turn and my bait's going to slow down. So it's good to have that variance in direction and speed on your bait. The other thing is the J stroke has never gotten along well with me because I guess it's because of the tendonitis or whatever it is in my forearms. It's just, you know, doing that thousands of times per day just doesn't feel good. So you just go like that as you hand it off. Just take it where you hold it on the bottom hand and switch hands. Take the bottom hand and switch it with the other hand. Ultimately, I don't think you should be doing a paddle stroke that anyone tells you. You should do what feels comfortable and what's effective. Like a fish doesn't know the backstroke or the front crawl or the breaststroke, it just swims. So I think that's what we can do too. Just do what's natural. Well, I'm traveling up Steel Lake and there's no tailwind, there's a direct headwind, but it's not too bad. And the terrain is pretty nice here. I'm just tucked away behind this little island. So with this headwind, I don't think I'm going to make it the 30 kilometers. I'll probably make it about 18, 19 and then finish up tomorrow. Another decent pike on. Not crazy long, but again, pretty thick. Oh, alright. Probably 6-7 pounds. Again on the big paddle tail. Come here. Oh, sweet, hook's out. Come here, junky fella. I'm gonna let you go. Nah. It's at an awkward angle here. Okay. Oh yeah. Not too bad. Pretty meaty, thick across the back. Alright. Thanks, buddy. You hit it a couple of times and short bit it. That'll happen when the hook's like 3 inches away from the back of the lure. Short bite all the time. The tail's getting torn up there. You hit it a couple times and lost him, and then he came back for it a third time and you got it. Well, 6 hours later, I've arrived at camp. As I arrived, a little family of weasels or something ran into there, and I don't know, they're scattered all around now, but I seem to be in their living space, so we'll see how that goes. I don't think this site's been used in a long time. The fire pit is, there are no signs of ash or anything. And one thing I was really hoping for on the site was a flat tent pad. I haven't slept well the last 3 nights because I've been on a bit of an angle. And it's still not too flat. So hopefully I can just sleep through it tonight anyway. There's tons of driftwood here. So I can have a good bonfire tonight if the weather cooperates. And if the weather cooperates, and I really hope that it clears up because there's supposed to be a good aurora activity for tonight. And that this is all north-facing view here, so if there's an aurora, I'll see it if the clouds clear up. I was hoping to get into eating walleye for dinner, eating size walleye, and just a few minutes in I got one, but too small. But this one's kind of blue as well, not as vividly as the other one, but there's definitely some signs of it there. Pretty cool. Got another walleye, not too much bigger, but big enough for eating. And he was almost someone else's dinner. I don't know if you can see the teeth marks there, jaw marks, and then that obvious cut. He was in someone's jaws not too long ago. So I'm gonna cook this up. Just gonna fry the fish on its own, and then cook it, put it together with some ramen to bulk it up a little. Unfortunately it's chicken flavored, but what you gonna do? Been doing all my cooking on the stick stove, but I'm a little tired of it. It's really much slower than a fire, especially if you have 2 items like this. I'm gonna boil the ramen and that, and I'm gonna leave out the chicken stock. And I'm just going to use some Tex-Mex in that and in that, and have that flavor instead of the chicken. Should be awesome. It's cool, the walleye, the flesh and the skin, it kind of bled out that blue look. It was almost like pigment. And that came out of its stomach. Nice big bait fish, and then a smaller one as well. And the weather is finally turning fair, it seems, which is such great timing for hopefully that light show tonight. We'll see. Hey boy! Supper's on! Come and get it! Coming, Dad? Now, how was school today, Billy? Good. I got my report card, and I got 3 A's. Yeah, okay, but how many kids did you whoop? I whooped 3 kids today, Dad, just like you told me. 2 were a little bigger than me, and then 1 was basically a toddler. I whooped him. That's my boy. That's my boy. Thanks, Dad. This is probably the best meal I've eaten in a week. It's not saying a lot, but still, it's pretty good. Got all the meat off of it that I could. Got the cheeks, the belly. Provided a fair amount of meat. This is awesome. Oh, this is amazing. It's mild. I'm not cold for the first time in a few days, and it's the first direct sunlight I'm receiving in a few days. It hasn't been warm at all. And there are no bugs for some reason. And I have a full belly. And if all this keeps up, I'm gonna have a bonfire, wait till it gets dark, and hope for some northern lights. It would be the first time in my life, so everything's pretty awesome right now. Well, it's a little past 11 and no sign of the aurora, but that's okay. I've stayed up later for many aurora forecasts that didn't pan out, and worst case, if they definitely don't show up, I'll probably stay up till midnight. Then I should have some great stargazing. There's still a little light on the horizon, despite that it's past 11. It's pretty high latitude here, so in the summer that is how it goes. It's funny, there was a pretty big ant walking by the fire here on the stones, and he just kind of like paused for a second and gazed at this bonfire, which in his life might be the most incredible spectacle he'll ever see. And here I am, a little ant on Earth, speck in the universe, looking up for a bonfire in the sky. It's a very unusual light in the sky. It really doesn't look like an airplane or a satellite, but it's giving off glimmers of light, unlike a star, and it's changing colors a little bit. It's going from white to yellow to red in a quick fashion. I almost wonder if it's a supernova far away. I haven't seen anything like that. I'm sure it won't show up on film. It's too far away, too dim.